Hey, what is up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Sparza, coming to you right now. It is 1:37 Best Coast time. My thanks to every one of you who has been patient. We have a very good guest. We'll get to him in a second. I do want to tell you guys, yesterday made a trip over to our good friends over at Super Rare. Want to give them a nice shout out. Not only got this very nice hat from our good friends over there, some wraps, because, you know, jiu-jitsu options are limited. But look at these. Super stoked to get to use these pretty soon because, I just had a big sushi lunch and I got to work that off. So if I'm being honest, we got to watch our weight as we do these things. Speaking of which, if you want to give some support to our good friends over at Nogi BJJ Gear, it's a pretty simple thing. Go over, buy yourself one of these rash guards, nogibjjgear.com. Use the promotional code GrapplingHour15, get 15% off of whatever you want, including this rash guard. Look at that, Corona weight champ. Because I dare someone to tell you that you're not. Everybody's gained a little bit of weight, speaking mostly for myself. All right, our guest today. This gentleman has been on a hot streak over on his UFC run. He has gone 3-0 in the past 6 months, and he's one of the few fighters who can tell us what it was like to fight pre and post, and I guess not even post, during Corona, in the sense that he went from one of the last UFC live audiences to, well, fighting in the Apex Center, which is not unusual for this man. I'm very excited to talk with him. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Daniel Rodriguez. Daniel, good to see you, sir.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Very well. Thank you very much for being on the show. I got to say, man, already love the jersey choice you've got here today.
Oh, yeah, all day, right here. Like the game.
I like that because, dude, you have this connection to Kobe Bryant, and I want to pull this up in a second, but what does Kobe mean to you? Because this is an LA show, and I know what he means to you. And for a man who has a Lakers tattoo on his leg, I got to know what he means to you, man.
Oh, man, that's LA's hero right there, man. That's Mamba. Kobe, number 8, number 24, man. He's a legend. LA. He's good. LA, he is LA, to me.
Because, I see this photo right here. Let me go and pull this up because it's a cool photo to begin with. But I love the fact that when I saw it, I said, dude, is this not such a dope, you tributing him, but standing right in front of it. It's already a powerful image as is, but I like that as an athlete yourself, you're paying homage to the man who carried us to a lot of championships here in LA.
Yeah, always, man. Any opportunity I get to show Kobe some love, I'm gonna do it, man. Wear his mouth guard. I was kind of tripping out, man. I knocked my last win was at 2 minutes and 24 seconds. So 2:24, Kobe and Gigi. So oh, coincidence. The Mambas was with me, bro. Hey, it was like a day after, or 2 days later was or the next day was Kobe's birthday. The next day was 8/24. It's crazy.
I mean, what's so great
I felt it in spirit, man. I felt Kobe in spirit. He was with me, bro.
Well, I mean, dude, we need a new LA hero. So, I mean, it's not a bad thing to see you in there wrecking shop in the UFC so far. So you've been carrying that banner very nicely. And you've been fighting out here. And what's very strange is that in the oddest of ways, you and I have kind of crisscrossed at a number of times. And it's been as simple as covering a CXF. I'm normally there. But I think that was one of the few times I was at an EBI instead of the CXF you fought over here locally. Then cut to as recently as when I said, hey, we're looking to bring you on the show. You went to 10th Planet maybe 2 hours after I was there visiting some friends and training down that way. So I'm like, dude, this guy and I just cannot seem to be at the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, let's start talking about this weekend, man, because I got to tell you, you have not been shy on entertainment or excitement. And this weekend, even when things looked rough, you were able to pull through and come back. And you mentioned that you were feeling a little bit yeah, he caught you for a little bit, but how were you able to stay composed when that got really hectic?
Really, I wasn't out. I wasn't, I was still aware of what was going on. Pretty much, yeah, he dropped me, and I was trying to recover. It was real hard because he was throwing so many punches, he was really trying to really take me out, and he had a good, hand over my hip, and it made it real hard for me to try to recover from that because the volume of punches he was throwing, I had to block it, but at the same time, I kind of had awareness of where he was at and where the punches might come from, so I try to shield away from that. And every time he tried to advance position, I'll try to just keep moving. you know. But the whole time I was trying to get my back to the cage so I could eventually work my way back up, which eventually I did. And you know, good thing the ref, you know, was smart enough to know that I was defending myself, and yeah, it was close. You know, him hearing the ref say fight back, it gives you like a little certain reviveness, like, oh shit, if I don't do something now, then it's over, you know. And I wasn't over, you know. I still had a fight. I was still there, and then of course I'm gonna get up. I'm not gonna give up, you know.
Well, that's the other thing is you don't want them to call the fight when you're still able to do something just because their interpretation is you might be out. So you want to give every possible indication that you will be able to fight back. And not only were you able to fight back, but you came alive. And I got to tell you, man, we do these fight companions. We watch these things live. And, you know, I'm watching you absorb a little bit there, but I'm also watching you hold down. And the one thing I did say, I'm pretty sure live on the air was, oh shit, he better not let him back up. Like, if you know anything about the way your fight style works, is I'm like, yeah, it's bad news. This guy might think he's got an advantage, but the minute he gets back up, I'm fearing for him now.
Yeah. Yeah, I got up all like, oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't.
I'm so glad you phrase it like that because there's been an interesting embrace, and I feel like it's the moment that you felt you've really arrived, which is that you've had a number of fools networks of these people embrace you. And I got to tell you, man,
Yeah.
as a brown person myself, there is no greater embrace than getting that.
Hey, I'm here. Look, I'm here to you know, show the world the culture, homie. I'm a fool, you know the food culture, you know. It's a lifestyle, bro. It's LA shit, you know, and that's what I am, homie. I'm the tatted up Mexican fool from LA. You know, you count on me to put on fights. You know, I'm coming with that LA shit, you know.
It's just so funny to me because it's like these are accounts that aren't necessarily even fight accounts. They're these accounts that usually do jokes and memes, and like especially for those of us who have grown up in LA, we relate to those memes and those things. So when I see you make it and cross over, I go, oh shit. Like these guys are now not only invested in you as a fight guy, but as a person who represents the culture. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you. That's the plan, man. You know.
So
me.
Let me ask this, man. How did this fight come together? Because I know there was a little bit of a drop off and a change of opponent. So how do you kind of, you know, how do you stay focused when all of these things happen, considering everything else that's going on in the world right now?
Can you repeat that question on that? That first
Absolutely.
part?
I got you, bro. So I'm asking, how are you able to stay focused when you have a change of opponent in addition to every external thing that's happening in the world right now?
Oh shit, dude. When it comes to like in a moment like that, like this last fight where it was like 24 hours, last minute replacement. Really, like I'm not thinking about nothing else in the world at the time right now. You know, I'm thinking about who the hell is this guy and what the fuck? Like what just happened? His opponent fell out, my opponent fell out. I was training for a southpaw, karate style, in and out, dude, just straight shooter. Now I'm fighting this dude that just seems to walk, like just move backward the whole fight and counter punch, wild loopy punches. Now, and he's orthodox, so spent my whole camp training for someone, and then just to like then switch it up on me again, you know. But yeah, I don't care. I'll fight anybody, bro.
I've seen many of interviews with you. I've done my research, and I think the one consistent thing I've seen throughout any given year or any point in your career is I don't care who I'm going to fight. I'll fight anybody. Like from day one to today, it has been probably one of the most through lines that I've seen. Now, when you end up getting this opponent, you get in there. Obviously, it's a strategy change. You have a great corner. Did they have any particular advice in terms of like either for the fight game or for your own like mental perspective on how to keep that focus going into that fight?
Yeah, I mean, coaches always have their insight. After we went back to our hotel room, just watched as many fights as we can. He only had 4 fights. You know, one of the fights, you know, I saw a few holes in his game. I was like, okay, he hadn't fought in a year, so that's a lot of time to develop. You know, like sometimes I don't trust watching tape. You know, Just like the same way, like you could watch my tape, but really like you watch the tape from like up until the recent ones, but you watch the tape from like 9 months ago, maybe to a year or something like that. Like, dude, I'm a whole different fighter. I'm all constantly evolving, constantly growing. So, in a situation like that, there's really like, it's kind of like fucking kill or kill type situation on a 24-hour short notice call like that. And I think that's what made the fight really exciting is what it was, because it was just two dudes fucking like, fuck it, let's fight. All right, cool, let's fight. We go back, watch each other's tape. I'm pretty sure he watching my tape. He's like, fuck. Like, what did I sign up for, And I think that's what made the fight what it was. It was just two fucking dudes that didn't know nothing about each other and just do it. And that's a beautiful thing, when you think about it, like in the perspective, like as far as like boxing, like dudes who don't want to fight each other and shit. Like, I'm in the game, like they let me in the UFC, I'm gonna fight all these fools. I'm gonna fight all these fools, I ain't come here to make no friends, It's probably like just like two dudes I probably wouldn't, ever consider fighting and shit, and they're my boys, So other than that, anybody could get it,
I do appreciate that. And depending on what kind of friend, if it wasn't those two people, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, the money's good. I don't know, man. I just got to say, man, because I know you're saying don't trust tape, and I think that's very applicable to you because you're a guy who has really, really powerful hands, and I know you've worked on that. And I know that dates back to a lot of you even having street fights as a kid, but your jiu-jitsu game is nothing to sleep on either. So on paper, you're like every kind of problem that you can imagine.
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu's there. I prefer to keep it on the feet, man. I'm just like, I throw hands, bro. I could throw a lot more than hands, though. I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve. I feel like, my bread and butter is these hands, and I'm not gonna shy away from it. Like I don't like, if you fight me, you better be fucking training to stay away from these fucking hands, because I'm gonna be throwing them at you. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like I got a great fucking like I've been working wrestling way more than I ever have my whole career. Like, jiu-jitsu is like I'm like I got some moves, man. I got some moves, and it's just constantly improving, bro. Constantly improving, and I got so much that I haven't shown. I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve, but like I said, man, the hands are just doing so well right now. And it'll all come out when it all comes out. If I need to bust out the other tricky shit, then I'm gonna do it. But for now, I'm gonna keep it where I like it.
I just like the fact that I have a lot of eyes and ears in a number of places. So, obviously when people know I'm going to interview you and they see that, I get a lot of notes. Or even when they knew you were fighting and I was like, yeah, I'm hoping to get an interview with them. They're like, dude, his jiu-jitsu game's really good. I was like, oh, okay. So I've had people talk to me about your jiu-jitsu game where I'm like, I don't really need convincing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sold on it. I would just say,
I'm about to get that brown belt. I'm about to get it.
I was about to say, bro, like, I don't know. Do I need to talk to Eddie? Do I need to go over and make a personal appeal? Is there a file I need to put?
I respect the ranking system in jiu-jitsu, and I know that certain things I still need to work on in order to take it to the next level. But that's just the thing. It's all on me. I gotta show up to class. I gotta do these drills. I gotta roll. I gotta stay consistent with it, and continue to show improvement and as well as perform during competition, I can't be going out there getting submitted or like, we worked on this, I got to know what I'm doing, and I have an amazing coach. Everybody at 10 Planet, cool as fuck, super helpful, always shows me love, when it comes time to roll, they give me that good ass work. And 10 Planet, dude, it's black belts. I'm rolling with black belts. All that, like, it's crazy, But we're a fam and shit, and I'm thankful for that.
Absolutely, 10th Planet. I'm a John Jock guy, so 10th Planet has always been like our cousins. And every time I've gone to visit them, they've always been nothing but super respectful and super great. Until Eddie points out it's me, and then to beat the shit out of me. Which, sure, okay, I get that. But it does make showing up there. I always know. I'm like, well, I know I'll get a good workout if I go.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, bro. I'm losing like 5 pounds if I go work out there, bro.
Absolutely, dude. Especially at HQ, man. I've literally I've built in to my passing at HQ the sweat that everybody is basically dripping because I'm like, yo, I know if I pass like this, I could probably slice through, but everybody's gonna be so slippery on these mats. I might as well just slide into it like it's home base.
Yeah, man. Again, those mats get pretty sweaty.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this, dude. You get this win. You go back, you have to do all of the whole, the protocols and do a little bit of media day. And you were great at media day. So good for you, man. I'm really stoked to see those sorts of things. What do you do to commemorate the win?
Man, to be honest with you, commemorate the win.
Like, do you celebrate? Do you do anything fun for yourself? Because I know the worst part that we're having right now is that you guys don't have the full ability to just go out and wild out.
Well, today's Friday. It's the weekend now. I got back. We got back. It's been a little dead, but shit, it's barely getting started. That's why when I hit you up, like, yo, I thought I was done. I was like, I'm already dressing. Let's go, but not for the most part. First day I got back, I just, got home and watched the fight a million fucking times. Had some friends over, drank some beer, threw some meat on the grill. Next day, spent time with my kids. Did all the interviews. I've been doing a lot of interviews, till like afternoon and just kind of soaking it all in, again, like watching the fight 1,000 fucking times a day. Like, wow, what the fuck? Crazy, and then, just kind of being responsive to like the whole interviews and social media thing and just, really, feeding back to the fans and shit, and it's a good feeling, man. I feel the love this time, for real.
Dude, that's awesome. And I mean, you deserve it. And I think that especially you might feel a little bit more in a unique way because there's no fans live there. So I think their way of expressing it is usually now just getting in touch with you because they can't cheer, they can't be there. So it creates a little bit more of this like, hey man, I want this guy to know I respect what he's doing. So I'm sure that's got to feel great.
It goes a long way, especially for me. Like I try to respond to every single DM or anything I can. Like, yo, thank you. Even if it's just pressing the like button on it, like, yo, I see you. I see the support, and I fuck with it. I get a lot of hometown love, and I feel it, man. Like I'm proud. I'm proud to fucking represent LA. I'm proud to be fucking Latino. I'm LA born and raised, and I've been through it all. I've been through the LA shit. I'm the LA street homie, and I made it. I only started training when I was 25, when I stopped fucking up, when I stopped, but I was programmed, I was programmed by the streets already. So that's why I come in here, on some hood shit like this. I'm gonna fight anybody, I'm hungry, bro. I'm hungry. I come from nothing, so I'm gonna get it.
Dude, and one of the things that you posted this week that really resonated with at least me is when you put up this post about you showing photos of the garage, you were self-teaching yourself essentially. And it's so cool to see that you're on this upward trajectory, but that you have a deep connection to this belief in self, this belief in, hey man, I know I can make this happen. I know I could be in the UFC and fighting these fights. So I think it's a great moment of reflection that you have totally deserved, man.
Yeah, man. I have something also in the works too, man, that a lot of people don't know about. For like the past 3 years, I took this idea from Conor McGregor, Notorious. You know how he started like a documentary like before he even got in the UFC. For the past 3 years, I've been doing a documentary with a good friend of mine, and kind of shows like that up and coming fucking this up and coming shit, that I'm on, that I'm really trying to really essentially brand as like, like on some LA shit to show like, yo, you could come up from nothing. All that shit takes is like getting through them hard times, and you can you could live your dreams and shit. You just gotta fucking work hard. And that's something I always did. So this documentaries, and it's real in depth, and a lot of the what it took to get here. And I think it's gonna really be an interesting story, and it's gonna relate to a lot of people, and especially in LA, if you're like from the like neighborhood area or anything like that, or like the ghetto, and you like um, just a ghetto ass kid who fucking wasn't really blessed with opportunities and put in bad situations and shit. I had to adapt to the environment, to break free from that, which a lot of people ain't able to, because I still got friends that are still like all locked up, getting caught up and stuff, but I think this film's really going to be important to show, like, where I came from, or like, so I can't wait to drop that.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Dude, if it's anything like the one that's on YouTube that Jeremy Filmsmore put up.
Well, he's the one that's been, I've been working with him. It's gonna be insane, bro. His work is amazing. Oh man, his like the footage we have some epic moments. Yeah.
Because I watched part of that as the research for this. And man, I'm a stickler. I work in entertainment, so it's very hard to impress me. But when I saw that video put together nicely, I thought just the way he laid in the audio, the way that he's got these visuals, the way he's shooting it, like so many of those elements work so well. So if that's just a taste of what we're getting, I really would encourage the audience to go check that out. That's Jeremy Filmsmore. Go look at that.
There's actually on the YouTube. The first one we ever did is actually on YouTube at Tap Out LA, I believe it is. Yeah, we were at the Yard, and we went to 10th Planet, and that's the first part of the movie. And I believe it's like, oh man, dude, we're like 2-3 years in already, and it's amazing. Like it's gonna show the progress and the steps and stages that I took to get here, as well as like telling you guys about me, like my story and shit, and how this all happened,
Dude, that's so awesome. I can't say enough good things about it, and especially knowing your story. I want to cover a little bit about it. I don't want to give too much away because I want people to watch that documentary, but I do want to say, you came from a very tough beginning, and there are a lot of people who maybe aren't from LA don't know there are certain pockets here where you grow up and it's just a different way of living. And you and I aren't too far off in terms of age, but like our upbringing has weird similarities and differences. I saw your interview with Donna and Becky, and in there you were talking about growing up and always watching boxing with your family. And I was like, dude, I didn't have a birthday party without boxing. Like there was no
like Tyson fights, De La Hoya, Chavez, like Pacquiao, all that shit, dude. Like Mayweather, like those are like family functions to me. Like that's how I grew up. Like it was always boxing, like puro el boxing, my tío, vamos a ver el box, va a pelear el Tyson, And,
well, that's why, to my side though, my whole family couldn't be more surprised I'm doing this. I was doing sports. I was a soccer kid. I was super thin then, but like they would have never guessed I would have taken mixed martial arts or even looking at boxing, because back then I was just like, I like it, but I didn't understand the science of it. And so for me, I was like, man, now that I really understand things and appreciate it more, and can speak to people like you and a lot of my friends who fight, I just learned so much more from that craft than I could have even imagined. But I can tell you this, when I was having people over, when people asked me, they're like, oh, do you want to see this Mike Tyson fight? I was like, bro, all I can ever remember is Mike Tyson bites Evander Holyfield's ear at my birthday, and nobody wanted to sing happy birthday to me. Like everybody was so bummed out. They might as well just canceled my birthday.
Wow. Yeah.
But funny. So if you grow up watching boxing, at what point does it seep in? Because you might get into some fights. A lot of kids get into fights though. Yeah. At what point do you start saying like, hey, I don't know, maybe I've got a skill to this that I want to develop a little bit more?
Yeah. It goes back to street fights, man. I've always been like a little, like, on some hood shit, In high school, you fight your enemies and shit, I started getting in trouble. Like I said, man, I didn't grow up that great, and I didn't really go to school. I got arrested early and I would go to school like if you ask me, I never stepped foot on a high school campus, man. I went to high school in juvenile hall type shit, you know. But you know, but it was there where I fucking became tough as nails, bro. There and you know, in and out the LA County jail, like till like you know, I've been there so many times, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even proud of this. I'm not even proud of this, but I probably been in LA County jail by like pushing like 20 times, man. You know, and that's from me just being younger, like when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. You know, I was out there being a fool, you know, and always fighting and getting locked up and being down for my shit, you know, and fighting and I'm a fighter. I had always been one, and you know, and I always loved boxing. I never really trained it, but I always worked out and shit, you know, and I only started taking it serious. Like I would like go to boxing gyms, like, but like just like not take it serious, you know. I would like just go hit like the punching bag or like when I was already like 17, 18, whenever I would be out, like you know, I try to go to the boxing gym because you know, being in jail, man, like I worked out every day, twice a day, hard, like do like fucking 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 sit-ups, and you know, like and you know, you just really like you want to be strong, you want to fucking know how to fight, because that's all you know. You in jail, you better know how to fight, you know, especially if you want to be down for your shit, you don't want to be punked. So shit, I was fighting every day almost and shit, you know. So that's why when people like a lot of times when people are like, oh, you get nervous or scared, like hell no, I don't get nervous or scared because I've been in worse situations. You ever got in a fight in a jail cell, like type shit, like you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, you know what I mean? So shit like that, it just fucking gives me more balls to do this shit, you know. So I ain't scared of none of these foods, you know, because you know why? Because there's a fucking ref in there, and if I get knocked out, oh well, they're fucking refs gonna stop it and shit. I've been in situations if I get knocked out, I don't know what the fuck, I might get stomped out, and this shit might not stop, you know. So I've been in these situations, you know. That's why I was telling my homies, man, like, how did it feel when that foot bombed on you? You really know how that shit felt for me? It felt like I was getting jumped, you know. That's how it felt like when Dwight Grant was bombing on me, and I was like, that. It felt like I was getting jumped, to be honest with you, you know. And I've been in that situation before, you know, and I survived a shit like that, you know. So that's why I could survive one person, you know. If I could survive all these motherfuckers, I could survive one person, you know. And it's been more than once, you know. I got a long history. The streets know me. You ask around my town, my city, I ain't never back down. I'll never run, no matter how many foods you with, you know. If anything, I'll run up on the car before they even get out the car, you know. I got strategy. Hey, I know what's up. And that's real shit, though, you know. It checks out. My homies will tell you.
I mean, one of the things I credit about sports is when we used to be brought together, it was literally people of different backgrounds, kinds, races, you name it. But you would have these friends who would be like you. We all had a friend like you that was like, oh, yeah, if a fight goes down, you need him. Like, that's the guy you call.
Yeah.
My job.
I was the reinforcements. Dude, I was knocking motherfuckers out. Like, they used to call me Dazer because I fucking Dazer your ass. I was known for knocking people out. Me and my homies, like, we were like party crew, like tagger shit and shit, you know, and then what led to other, like, you know, bigger things and shit. But really, like, you know, there's all these other party crews, and the biggest fucking dude, like, dude, I got that one, you know. And I have stories, man. We got stories, and you know, that's all that shit just made me the fighter I am today. I'm sure you could tell by the way I fight that's where I come from. That's my style, like fucking street fight. You know, I don't care if I gotta fight a dude the day before. Shit, I walk down the street and I might run into my enemies and shit. You know.
I mean, for me, it's more so the way you carry yourself. I don't even need to see the way that you fight, because sometimes there's just a way that people carry themselves where you got called Phaser. My nickname growing up from my homies was Clever, because it was my job to be the funny guy or the guy that got people out of trouble. So I would always be like, oh, they'd be like, no, man, Clever's going to get us out of this one. Like, Clever, figure it out, dude. And I'd be like, I'm not a fucking lawyer, dude. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, no, they call me Dazer. Actually, I don't get along with Phaser.
Thank you. I mispronounced a name. That is on me. My apologies on that. Well, let me ask this, dude, because you look at it and, you know, we're starting to circle maybe about what, 25 is when you really start taking it seriously and really are doing training in a very way that you're thinking, all right, I'm going to start fighting professionally here. You know, when did you know that you loved fighting professionally?
I knew that I fell in love with MMA. Like when I remember one time I got out of jail, and my cousin like, "What's up? Come kick it. Come watch this fight." I was like, "All right, cool." I show up and it's Rampage versus Forrest Griffin. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" You know, like, what is this shit, dude? Like, there's like UFC, fool. Like, you don't fuck, like, you don't know what's UFC? I'm like, no, I don't know what that is. What is that shit? And I became an instant fan. Fell in love with that shit. Fell in love with it. And then Chuck Liddell was popping right there. I was like, Chuck, that was my man. Like, I was like, oh, that fool's tight. He got a beer belly and knocking fools out and shit, you know. And I fell in love with it, bro. And I was like, I've always been working out, like lifting weights. I used to be like more like trying to be a buff guy and shit, you know, trying to be all big. And I used to go to like LA Fitness a lot, and that's when I started like hitting and kicking the bags and shit. And I remember at the time, I was working construction, and fucking, I passed by a tap out gym where originally Temp Planet was, and I always passed by like, man, I want to try that shit. I want to go up in there. Like, you know, I already work out anyway. I got bored with the LA Fitness. You know, I was like, this shit's boring. There's got to be more or something else. You know, because like I said, I'm programmed to work out like every day. It's like just a habit. It's a habit. It's my life now. And I passed by the gym, you know, and fucking I kept going home like, man, I want to try this fucking gym out. Like, it's dope, you know. And actually, my baby mom, one day as an anniversary gift, she's like, here, I got you something. And it was like the pass to the gym. She like, go check it out. She's like, you always talk about it. She love it, you know. And fuck, dude, I'm in the UFC now, you know.
That's so crazy, dude. Good for you, man. And
yeah.
You know, like I said, it's
props to her. I always give her props for that shit.
Man, always. What a serendipitous thing, especially when you look at how, you know, most people have a background that might kind of take them from a bad situation to, hey, listen, mixed martial arts gave me a good outlet, gave me a great reason for doing something professionally and becoming a business. You know, now you're a brand, you're a business, you're basically your own kind of entrepreneur. So I think it not only changed your life, but gave you multiple directions on how to be a person.
Yeah.
So let me ask this then. At what point do you link up with Schilling? Because I know you from a little bit of the grappling world, but Schilling is one of the first people that I remember covering, and he couldn't have been nicer to us here at Verbal Tap. And, you know, I always consider we got to watch him at Glory 10 when he had his own Rocky episode, essentially, of winning that night's tournament. And just, I remember being
watching. I was watching that yesterday. You know, Joe's my boy. You know, sorry to cut you off, but
no, dude, I just want to know how you guys linked up because to me, that man is an incredible fighter.
Yeah. Me and Joe actually got to a point where my original Muay Thai coach, Kathy Long, 5-time world kickboxing champion, legend in the game, she felt that I needed to train somewhere better, you know? So she's like, you should go to the yard. My head coach is like, yeah, if Kathy thinks that, you know, you've surpassed what she has to offer for you, then you know, you should go somewhere, which is the most noble thing you can do as a coach, you know, accepting that you can only take someone so far, you know. So started going to the yard. They handed me off to Mark Komuro at first, and at first Joe didn't really fuck with me, you know. Like I had to, like, Joe's the type of person you got to prove yourself to this fool, like, you know, he's got to see you, you know. And it took a while, you know. I took a couple wins for me to, like, you know. Joe's got a real strong personality and shit, you know. I would always like see him and just like, you know, maybe it was me. I didn't like really go because he got like this real strong personality. So I would like be like, oh fuck, you know, like I have nothing but respect for the guy, you know. And he's like, you know, kind of like trying not to be starstruck and shit. It's like, no big deal, this fool's here, you know. But you know, I worked hard, you know, and eventually he's like, hey, what's up, dude, you know. And came homies. Now we like fucking brothers, you know. That's my dog for life. You know, yeah, pretty much. You know, he saw me like getting that fucking work in, and we've been boys. He's opened up. He's done some cool things for me. You know, looked out for me in a lot of ways and shit. You know, and having him on the team, a legend like Joe Schilling in my corner, dude. That's fucking sick, dog. I look at my corner like, man, I'm working with some fucking of the best in the game. Eddie Bravo, Joe Schilling. My Russian coach is a beast, bro. He's probably like the most underrated person. Like he's my head coach. You know what I mean? I got Eddie and Joe, but my boy Rob, I made him my head coach. Like that motherfucker's a beast and he's smart and he knows what he's doing. You know, so shit work. Like I got a dynamic team, and my boy Andy too. I got a great strength conditioning coach. He's fucking right now. He's training Leo Santa Cruz for Javante Davis, and yeah, dude, like a fucking amazing team, dude. And then I'd be going to the BMF ranch. I'm supposed to go up there as soon as my toe heals and finish out camp, you know. So I'm just fucking out here getting, man, grinding. It's fucking great. I have a great team.
I gotta tell you, man, when I see that you get to go to the BMF ranch, I'm sure you have what a lot of people would have, which is, whoa, holy shit, I'm here kind of a feel, you know? But, you know, I think the first thing that you can really know, in addition to your record, which is quite good, but getting that head nod from Joe is maybe just as good, if not better, than some of those wins, because it's a true form of respect from a fighter that you admire and that you have respect for. Like getting that head nod from him, that's like, hey man, you sometimes got to prove yourself, you know. Like I'm sure it could be a number of things, but I know from dealing with him personally, we went from being just another interview he had to do to being like, no, we're funny.
Yeah,
you'll figure it out. And the thing is, like, you don't have to love us, but we're going to make sure in the time that you get to work with us, you'll enjoy it. And ever since then, man, like, I just know that he's always had a very nice approach to us. And he always goes out of his way to say hello to me whenever we're at the same spot. And you don't need to do that. Like, I'm just, I'm not that guy. But I would tell you this. This is how I know it's a true bond, because one of the things I know about Joe is he doesn't always love doing the jiu-jitsu work. And so when I see you pull him over to 10th Planet, I think I told him one day, I sent him a note and I was like, good, glad your ass fucking went to go.
That's why I feel like, you know, it was actually interesting. We kind of set that up, me and Rob, because at my last fight where it was me, Eddie, Joe, and Rob, I was like, let's team those guys up and let those fools roommate, you know, let those fools conspiracy theory up and shit, you know, and those fucking guys hit it off, you know, and fuck, dude, I was so surprised when we get back. Joe's in jiu-jitsu without me. I've been trying to fucking get his ass to go for fucking years, bro. And then he goes without me. I was like, you asshole, bro. No, you did. I was like, oh, hell no. Like, motherfucker, really? You went without me, bro? Oh, hell no. I felt mad. I felt played. But now, like, you know, he's into it. He's, you know, he accepted like my team too, you know, like it's like I have Rob and Eddie, you know, and he's like we're on the same page now, you know. There's nothing missing, you know. Before I always go here and then there, but now we could put it together. Now that we know what we're working on and how we're training, now we could put it together way better than we ever have. And there's just so much more room to grow now, because now my both worlds are fucking intertwined, you know, and now it's one. It's dope.
That's rad, dude. And like I said, I mean, I remember, you know, once saying in jest, because, you know, when you do the end of the interviews, you do these things where you're like, hey, Joe, if we ever run into each other, blah, blah. And I think I had mentioned something where I was like, oh, if you ever come train jiu-jitsu, he was like, you'd probably fucking beat the shit out of me. And I was like, Joe Schilling.
Dude, he's fucking strong.
I was like,
dude. He's not easy, Joe.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, Joe, you fight professionally and I interview professionally. But he was just like, that's how much he hates it, where he's like, fuck, dude, I just don't want to. And I was like, you know, it's not that big of a deal, Joe. And I just love the fact that he was so like, fuck. So when I see him over at 10th Planet and I give him shit and I'm like, I'm glad you're there, man, because I know that's good for you. And more importantly, like, he's got the great body and build to be a great
legs, yeah. And he's strong. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, you know, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but what's most important is that he's into it. He
Yep.
fucking comes back like, dude, he's excited. He's excited, bro, and he's excited about it. Then you know, there's a lot that could happen with that.
Credit for
Yo,
you for
Dave,
scheming that one up.
Dave, in the fridge, bro. There's stuff in the fridge. Yeah.
Credit for you for scheming that one up. I know it's going to pay off huge dividends for him. It's kind of like his vegetables. Got to do it, man.
Yeah, you know, and we a team at the end of the day. He still wants to fight MMA, and I'm like, shit. Well, this work, bro. You know.
Right. Well, let's talk about this, man. So, what's coming up next for you? Because I know you. Well, I actually, before I ask what's coming up next, I did want to ask, what was the difference between fighting one of those last fights with an audience pre-corona, everybody locked down, all that sort of stuff, to now having that little bit more intimate feel? Do you like it? How do you feel about the difference between the two?
All right, no problem, Dave. It's fighting at the end of the day. I do love the crowd. You know, my first UFC fight was obviously in dude's hometown. You know, I didn't really get the cheers I would like I would in LA, but it was like I have fought in other organizations, so I was in some pretty big arenas. So like it felt like something similar, you know, to like Combate Americas. You know, they had pretty decent shows. Fought at Bellator. I fought at the Forum already, so I was like already kind of already a big show fighter. You know, I never really fought on like the you know, like small shows to went into the UFC. So that's like I had adapted to that already. And first fight at the Apex was Contender Series, and I did have fans there, but I think it was the first fight or something like that. And I remember telling my family, like, yo, you can't be all loud and all ratchet like you always get, you know what I mean? Like, you guys gotta fucking chill out. Like, you kind of get all fucking, kill that motherfucker! You know? Like, my tia and shit, like, tia, don't get drunk, tia. Like, please. I'm like, ma, you gotta watch what you say, ma. You know? And she's like, okay. So fucking, they were there, my mom, my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, you know, my other cousin. You know, just my close ones, my real close ones. One of my sponsors, like real tight homies, real close people, because they only give us like 8-9 tickets. And I remember the fight, like it was fucking dead silent. I was like, what the fuck is this? You know? And it reminded me a lot like sparring. Like when you go to a new gym, it's fucking just quiet. You just hear coaches. It's a lot like sparring. And you know, that's why I got the feeling of that right away. And I got comfortable, you know. I got comfortable. Okay, like you know. Then after the show, it was like fucking. My mom, she fucking got sick because she was like, I was like this, like, cause my mom like she fucking freaks out, bro. She freaks the fuck out. Like she fainted last time, fucking. But she said she got sick. She's like, oh my god, my blood pressure. She's like, I was fucking popped a nerve in my head, you know. So I could imagine, like, you know, to go from being there watching me from the fans, from being there watching me fight to on TV is just like probably, you know, a lot of people wish they could be there. I wish people could you know, be there and watch. I feel it. I feel the love. I feel the energy whenever like I have all my people there. At the same time though, I know people are back home watching me, and you know, it's the same energy, the same love. So it's kind of really don't makes no difference to me, because at the end of the day, when that fucking gate code closes, whether there's people there or not, there's people cheering or it's quiet or silent, it's just me and him, and I fucking like I can't hear nothing else. Sometimes I can just hear me and him breathing, you know. Sometimes I don't even hear my coaches, and I just zone out that much that it makes no difference to me, really.
Good for you, man. All right, so I saw that, you know, when I was going to ask what's next, but I already know you've been calling out Mike Perry. So I guess why Mike Perry in particular?
A few reasons, you know. He beat my homie, you know. I'm good people with Mickey and shit, you know. I want to, you know, defend his honor and shit. Like, who the fuck am my homie? That what's up now? You know. And you know, I think it'll be a great fight. He's pretty, you know. I think it'll be like a good boost. You know, you know, it's a kind of level up, you know. not the greatest fighter in the world, but he's fucking tough and he hits hard. You know, I think it'll be a great fucking show, a great build up to it. You know, the fans will be like, "Fuck yeah, dude, that's a badass fight." You know, really, my goal in the UFC is to put on great fucking fights. But if Perry wants to fucking be socking up old fools and put himself on the sidelines, I ain't gonna wait for nobody. You know what I mean? So anybody could get it. Anybody, I'll fight anybody under me on the ladder or over me on the ladder. Really, I'm trying to fucking fight. That's all I want to do is fight. You know, that's why I have all these fights, because I'm bugging ass. I'm like, yo, what's up? Let me fight. I'll be ready in a month, or I'll be ready in 20. You know what? I'll be ready whenever you need me. You know? So
You know,
that's why I'm waiting for this toe to heal up so I can hit the ranch and join Cowboy for his camp, and and maybe something will pop up for me from now until then, but I just want to stay on my grind.
a true good friend soldier right there. I just love that. And, we've already got a lot of this. Look at this. Love this. We get notes. Damn, that's a good fight right there from one Kevin Bradley. Respect D-Rod. Respect Raf. What's up, Lex? Glad you're joining us. And then, of course, you got Armand, who's saying love when he drops into HQ, who is
Oh yeah,
always.
that's the homie. That's the homie.
Absolutely, man. He's the guy who wants to mess you up a little bit and then help you readjust your back when you're done. So yeah, he's definitely a very much needed resource here in all of our jiu-jitsu realm. Well, listen, man, I want to start closing things up, but I know we've got to cover a little bit more just to close things up. In addition to the documentary, do we know kind of when you guys are targeting, when you want to release it? Or, I know you mentioned you're excited for
I had tried to map it out to where after this fight or after my last fight in the UFC to have that shit ready to drop it so we could have like a little like, yo, resign me, what's up? Like, but they re-signed me with that Kevin Grant, what's his name? Dwight Grant fight. So I kind of want to drop it now that, like as soon as possible, start editing and doing this shit now. We got to strike when the iron's hot while everybody is like, got eyes on me. And, drop the film. I already have a name for it. And it's going to be called Up and Coming. I believe that the story goes well with it. It's for me, like, I'm also start like a clothing line brand, Up and Coming. And like I've been asked before, like why Up and Coming, what that mean to you? And to me, it's like for me, it's like a mind state, and is this time that I had when I was I'm still an up and coming fighter. You know what I mean? And it's just a phase or like that process, that day to day shit. It's for everybody, dog. Like it's not just for me as a fighter up and coming. Like you're up and come like you're a professional up and coming interviewer, or you could be an up and coming fucking rapper or up and coming barber, or up and coming like little soccer player, anything you could, whatever it is. But this is like it represents like people that fucking on their grind every single day, hustling for the ultimate goal. Like fucking whatever it is. Like I was like that young up and comer. Like I remember when I was that young up and comer from Los Angeles trying to make his way, and I'm still that. You know what I mean? And that's what it represents. And I think the film being named that is gonna better it's not gonna only I won't only be able to tell you what it represents, but the film will show you what it represents. And I feel like it's gonna be big.
Well, I think that's part of the reason of your success is having that mentality, even as you're on the come up to the come up, having that mentality of like, no, I'm still on the come up. Like I'm never done being on the come up is one of the things that makes champions. So I can definitely appreciate that. So I want people to be on the lookout for that. Your apparel line is going to be called as well. Up and Coming as well.
Yeah, Up and Coming. Link is in my bio. Actually, we're already dropping. We're doing the Jumpman tee right now. We got some new stuff coming out. Like the Jumpman is kind of the first edition. Kind of sky's the limit for me, man. And
let me pull this up because I saw this. And I saw you put that up there. The first thing I thought of when I saw that, though, if I'm being super real, was I was like, yo, I don't need that man jumping because, normally they put something in a basket. That man's hands are already weapons, so I don't need any part of that in a way that can drop down on me.
Yeah, that's the first one, man. We got some actually really cool ideas coming out. For anybody that wants to, like, show some love and represent and and I feel all the love and energy that everybody's showing me, man. Whether it's from DMs to help, like, supporting with merch, whatever. Like, I don't really care about the merch, to be honest with you. Like, but it's for you guys. If you guys, like, I'm trying to put out fun, cool shit. People want to fuck with it, and
Well, I know you used to say that you did tagging.
Yeah, I'm gonna put out some graffiti shit too. For sure. Some dope ones.
Because I never got that skill as an artist. I'm more of a writer. I always saw people who had the ability to tag these beautiful murals and walls. So I knew when you were putting together a clothing line, I was like, oh shit. I mean, some of those things are going to be really
some cool stuff. Some cool D-Rod drops. Actually, you gave me a great idea. Because you could do a lot with colors. I'm like, I'm gonna mix up the colors real well.
And don't ever disclude the fact that photo of you training in the gym or something like that. Like, I think those are those kind of things that tie in and even make The Rock, like when he talks about having $7, like that's the name of his production studio. Now he's the biggest star in the world. So like whatever you can do to tie those things. I have one class question from Lex Luthor over here that says, ask him if he would do any jiu-jitsu competitions.
High rollers, what's up? Hey, blowing, hey. It'll be like training at HQ if I do high rollers, But I'll definitely do high rollers.
I dig that. That's great stuff. All right, Daniel, I want to say thank you so much for your time, man. I know we got to get you out of here in a second. I'm going to close this bitch up. I'm going to say hi to you and bye to you off air. So if you don't mind sticking around just for a few seconds, I'm going to close this up. But my thanks to one Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. So this is a quick way of closing it up. Tomorrow we're doing a fight companion for the UFC. So I'll be watching that. Sunday, we're going to be watching the Submission Underground that Chael's putting together. We're going to watch a fight companion with that, as well as the Wrestling Underground. That's going to be a very new and interesting experience. Want to, again, thank our friends over at Superware. Check this out. I don't know who's catching these hands, but somebody will. I mean, mostly my lunch should be catching that hands because somebody's gained a few. I was a big sushi lunch is what I'm saying here, peeps. Also, our good friends over at No Gi BJJ Gear. Check this out. Rash guard, boom. Turn it around. Corona weight champ. Buy it. Tell someone that they aren't the champ because guess what? Nobody can really train right now, so there's only a handful of us that are actually getting out there and training. My thanks to everybody for stopping in. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys so much. We will see you back here tomorrow at the prelims. My name's Rafa Esparza. It's been a great